All right, we're here with Paddy Pimblett. Okay, so last night I was just hanging out here in Manchester, and I didn't realize that there's this big rivalry between Manchester and Liverpool. But it still feels like a home game for you. So did the locals kind of set aside the football talk and just support all the fighters?
For me, it's completely different, know what I mean? Football and MMA are
Right.
completely different. Football and every other sport's completely different, lad. So I can't see people using that against you, but, lad, I can sit down on a chair and people will use it against me, lad. So it's one of them.
So how do you feel about this Bobby Green matchup? I feel like he's one of the trickier guys to probably game plan for. He's just got a little bit of a different style. How do you feel about that? Or how do you
Nah,
look at it? Do you look at him as being a tricky guy?
a little bit like he's got a weird style, but we've game planned it. We're ready for it, know what I mean? I think I've got a harder style to train for than he has. So I don't think he's going to be prepared because everyone seems to think this is a striker versus grappler match when it's not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come out and I'm going to stand with him and use my range and beat him up on the feet. And his chin's gone after that Jalen Turner knockout, so I can see me knocking him out.
Where did the, I don't want to say it's a beef, but the kind of competitive rivalry that you guys seem to have, it seemed like it came out of nowhere. Is it just you guys want to fight each other that bad?
No, it did half come out of nowhere because early 2022 he was Sapiami in a UFC show, videoing me on Instagram Live talking about me. So he started it, you know what I mean? I was sitting with my wife and he was videoing me from behind, saying all stuff about me, and all people were commenting on it saying, go and say something to him then, what are you sitting there for? But he didn't have the... So here we are now, 2.5 years later, and we're finally getting to fight. I wouldn't go out my way to mention Bobby Green because he's a no one, you know what I mean? The only reason he's got this fight against me is because he's ranked. And he was lucky to get in the rankings, beating Grant No Jawson.
Were you surprised that he was willing to come here, to your home country and fight?
Nah. Like, give him his due, lad. He's had nearly 50 fights. He's a ready member. You know what I mean? He's not scared to fight anyone. And he stepped up on like a week's notice to fight Islam Makhachev. So I think he'd go and fight anywhere, lad. He doesn't care. I know he's not scared to fight me. And I don't think anyone in the UFC but were fighters. You know what I mean? No one's scared to fight anyone.
Is there more pressure you fighting here versus, because obviously you fought in other places, you fought in the States, you fought at home. Do you feel more pressure kind of carrying the English flag here?
No, the pressure's on me no matter where I am. You know what I mean? Like,
How did that happen? How did it end up being like that? Because it does seem there's always so much. It's warranted, but there's always so much talk. It's always the focus is on you. The lights are always on you. How did that happen?
lad, ever since I was 16, lad, people have jumped on everything I've said. You know what I mean? There's something called the Cage Warriors Forum back in the day, and when I was 16, I was 5-0 amateur, and I put a post on there saying I'm the best amateur bantamweight in the country. Does anyone dispute this? And it had the most responses ever on the forum.
Yeah.
People were putting names in, and I was just beating them, ticking them off the list until I went pro when I was 17. So it's just where all the hype's been around me. People love to talk about me. You know what I mean? The amount of he's gonna get fraud checked, he's this, he's that, I've seen online is crazy. But I get on with it. Know what I mean? Whether you love me or you hate me, whether you think I'm a fraud or whether you think I'm the next best thing since sliced bread, you're gonna watch me fight, and that's all that matters.
Do you feel like you've been changed as a fighter since becoming a dad? Do you think that there's a difference there?
I think there is. Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't really notice it, but all my coaches have mentioned it to me. My wife has, like my teammates, Molly, in a big way. Like they've all said that I have. I've changed a little bit. I've matured a lot already, and I'm not gonna lie, lad, I've got a newfound respect for women. Like, my wife's like superwoman, lad. Like, just taking care of 2 babies, and I thought this was gonna be the worst fight camp of my life, where I'd have to step up and help with the babies, and in the daytime I have, but Laura does everything, lad. Like, night feed, she hasn't woke me up, she's left me to get me sleep in. I haven't made a bottle once. I haven't sterilised the bottle once. You know what I mean? I've changed some nappies, obviously, but she's done everything, lad. And without her, I wouldn't be here. It's as simple as that. I reckon would have took me life a long time ago without her.
Are they going to be at the fight?
Me wife is, yeah.
Not
know
the
what
kids?
I mean? No. It's an over 18 event, isn't it? Because of the time. Me nephew, me nephew can't even come, lad. Who's
Really?
12.
I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know that.
I want to speak to someone about bringing him out at the weigh-in so he feels
Yeah.
involved, lad. Because he was crying when he found out that he couldn't come.
Man. Yeah, that's tough.
It's heavy.
Just real quick before I let you get out of here, where do you think the fight takes place mostly?
Wherever I wanted to.
Do you get a finish?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. When I come out, I'm going to strike with him. I'm going to try and take his head off his shoulders with my hands, knees, kicks and elbows. And if it doesn't happen, I'll probably take him down and I'll submit him. I'll drown him. He won't be able to cope with me pressure. I'll do what Islam Makhachev done to him.
And then where do you go after that? Who's next?
I want to fight Renato Moicano, lad. Know what I mean?
It's a good fight.
Yeah, it is. And we've
fight.
spoke about each other online. He said he'd take the fight. I've said I'd take the fight. But as I say, I'm looking forward to shutting everyone up who's picked against me. I've seen a lot of people picking against me, lad. So I'm looking forward to shutting them dickheads up.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming and spending a couple minutes with me.
You know that fella?
Thank you.